Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome. It is currently 7:04 Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, and it is Ashley Smarowsky, Spiritual Medium, and I have the beautiful Kat with me here.
Hello, guys. Sorry, had to mute something. I'm okay.
Hello. I know, I did too. Did your phone go off?
Yep. And
Mine
I'm like,
did
no.
too.
I was
Yep,
like, don't do that.
it must have been our group chat because that's exactly mine went off, and I was like, oh, I didn't silence that.
Same. I was like, oh no.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Ron. Hi, Debbie. So do us a favor as you guys are hopping on. Let us know maybe where you're watching from, how your night has been or how your day has been, and click the share button. Right. Hi, Karen. Hi, Crystal. Trudy. Perfect. How is everyone? Crystal's in Baltimore. Right. I'm super excited. So if you guys are completely new, welcome. My name is Ashley Smarowsky. I'm a spiritual medium psychic. And Kat here is absolutely talented. She's absolutely phenomenal. We love her. Those of you who follow, we know we love her. She's one of my master healers. So I have all of Kat's information up in the description of the video. Unless you're watching on YouTube, then it's going to be down there. But I'm super excited that you guys are here and Kat, that you're able to join us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me yet again.
I love it.
This is definitely a regular activity for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Kat. I'm a seer. What does that mean? Not so much for y'all. The seeing part for me is really more of my personal journey. I do a lot of I say this word with hesitation, shamanic journey work on my own, which has led me to visions, which is going to kind of translate, I guess, a little bit for you all tonight, because I'm going to be sharing my findings on past lives, current lives, and future lives, and kind of dispelling some myths and laying a little bit of education on you for you, and take your questions and answers and things like that. So, hi, how are you?
Yep. I'm excited. People always get really excited when we say that we're going to talk about past lives.
Yeah.
It kind of, you can see it, like the interest will peak. People are like, oh my gosh, this is something I love. I have all the questions. So when you were like, this is what I want to talk about tonight, I was like, yes, okay, we can definitely do that.
I wasn't originally, but you know how spirit is. They were like, hey, this is what you're going to be doing this month. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
And I was like, fine. I had something, I don't even remember what I had, but I think I even sent you a message and I was like, we're going to do this. And spirit was like, nope.
Yeah. They're like, no, you're not.
Nope.
I don't know about you, but I always get those downloads. Like I'm asleep. Like I am drifting into sleep. And that's when it comes in. And I'm like, I know if I don't text myself this, I'm going to forget in the morning. So then I've got to like one eye it. And I'm like texting myself all these like inspired ideas. And I'm like, thanks, spirit. And I'm like going back to bed.
I get a lot of it when I'm doing my morning coffee, honestly, because once the kids are off to school, and now that I have teens, I'm able to sleep in a little bit. So I feel naughty for 8 a.m., but I do. I get to sleep. I kind of hear them leaving. They say, bye, mom. And I'm like, bye. I look at my phone because we live right across from the school. So they just walk over there, both the middle school and the high school. And I'm drinking my coffee, and it's usually like bam, 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 bam. But nighttime, that's reserved for like my gifts, like things that are opening up for me. Like I had somebody in my ear and I was audibly hearing them the other night. And I was like, that's new and fun. Okay, we're just going to roll with that.
I love it. All right.
I do past life readings, but not for children. Sorry, Tracy. I saw your first half of your question and I was like, oh, that's a great question. Yes, I do past life readings. I think it's unethical to read children at a minimum of an age 15 and under, because you're doing so much changing and growing and developing. That's my personal opinion. I'm not telling you what to believe. But if you're interested in learning more about your kids, or you want to learn about their connections, I highly recommend finding a qualified astrologer and getting a birth chart done. That way you can parent them better. But unless like one of their spirit guides piggybacks on one of your readings and kind of gives some information to you as the parent or guardian, that I won't do it. I will do teenagers if the parent is present and they're 16 or older, but I always reserve the right to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Any sort of energy work with minors, it's a very, I think it's a case by case sort of situation.
It is. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I get a lot of those too. And I'm like, well, let's discuss it before I give you a straight yes or no.
Mine for 15 and under is always no. And that's just because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
So much
There
going on.
is. Mm-hmm.
But there are people who will. So
Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
So I would love in the comments if you guys could let us know if you are familiar with Kat, if you follow her, or if this is your very first time seeing her, because she's live with me every month. So how long has this master healer thing been going on now? We're coming up on a year, aren't we?
I was doing my taxes. Well, I didn't do them, but I was going to get my income because, first year doing this,
Mhm.
like professionally making money, it cracks me up because I spent less time doing this work, but I got the same amount my first year apprenticing for hair.
I love
And I
that.
was like working 70 hours. I mean, it wasn't much. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't much, but
Yeah.
I got to stay home and do it.
Yeah.
So I opened my Shopify in February. I think we launched in March. I think March is when we
Okay,
launched.
yeah. It was,
And
I couldn't remember. It was like, I knew it was somewhere between February and March. But I was like, when I was sitting down today, I was kind of working on some of my schedule and back end stuff. And I was like, huh, like, I think we're coming up on a year with the master healers. Like, that's exciting.
It is. It is. We're going to have to celebrate somehow. Like
We
a
do.
Zoom party. I'm not trying to put one more thing on your schedule, I promise.
No. Yeah, no, I agree. Oh, look at these comments. Everyone's like, Kat's amazing.
I love you guys.
Oh,
I love my little tribe. We're 550 strong as of tonight. And
awesome.
I love each and every one of you.
Yeah. So, and there are a lot of first timers here with Kat. So if you guys are completely new to her, she's very different than me. Like, we do very different work. We have very different approaches. And I think that's why, like, I think we balance each other out really well. I think we have good chemistry. We balance each other out really well. So if you guys are like, if you watch this and you're like, oh my gosh, I really like her, go give her a follow. Seriously, like, go.
I'm going to be a little saucy right now because when new people find me from Ashley, it's one of two things. They're like, oh, she balances her really well. Or they think I'm Ashley Diet, Ashley Light, Ashley Inexpensive.
Yeah, no, we're different.
We're completely different. And what I'm going to be talking about in just a minute, past lives, your soul's journey, how it all integrates together. That's my specialty. I have people who are part of actually Awaken with Ashley, one of Ashley's groups, which I'm still a part of. So I adore it. Not to promote you while I'm on my live, but I do. I love it. And I love the community. They have, a couple of them recently have reached out and been like, yo, stuff you told me a year ago is now coming into fruition. And I thought you were crazy. And I was like, well, that's good to know, because some days I think I'm crazy. So the way that my biggest reading, which is sold out right now, the soul reading works, some of that stuff isn't going to fully develop for a year. Some of these things that you have to work through are really going to take a long time to get through. So I don't recommend having big readings with me, but once, maybe a year or every 2 years. Now, psychic development readings, that's different, but doing a soul reading, doing those kind of readings, just one and done for now. Come hang out with me, get little readings, like little emails and stuff once in a while, but I look at the big picture, the big picture.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And I see so many people in the comments, like, you're always spot on. I love that. Yep. Yep.
We were, Megan. You're one of the people.
I love Megan. All right. So we are talking past lives tonight. And so this is your time to shine. So I'm going to follow your lead, chime in here and there. And those of you in the comments, I always encourage, like, engage. The more that you do, the more it helps to get the video out there. But also the more that we get to know, like, are you interested in what we're talking about? Is there something maybe we need to kind of sit with and explain a little bit more? So absolutely engage.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information, and then let's open it up for question and answers and like dialogue and fun stuff. Okay. So a lot of times people will think of past lives, their current lives, and their future lives as separate entities. Not really. That's, as somebody who's journeyed and has seen the progression of not only your life, right? Like you live your life, there's a beginning, you were born, there's a middle, all the action, the ups and downs, the roller coasters, you hit the peak of your lessons, and then you exit, right? That's just a chapter. This is just one chapter. This life is just a chapter in your story. So, a lot of people, I think it would help a lot, if people could see it the way that I see it. I see it like a storybook. I really do. You can see foreshadowing in your life. If you look at your childhood lessons, you can tell what's going to be coming up the pipe probably later on. A lot of you parents, you figured that out a little too late like me. That's okay. That's okay. We're here. We're human. And a lot of times people look at their past lives and they think that it's only in the past. It's only in the past. That's not true. You can live a past life 1,000 years in the future. Time is not linear for your soul's progression. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I have notes because I have ADHD, so be patient with me. This is an individual life. It is an individual expression. However, on your soul's journey, you choose to work on certain lessons. So if you notice a theme over and over and over in your life, that's probably one of the lessons you came here to learn. Some people might struggle with self-love. Insert your struggle in your life here. That is probably one of your soul's lessons. Now, the expression of that lesson is completely up to you on the other side. How you want to come in and learn this lesson of self-love will look different in each life. From last chapter, where your self-love was expressed through giving too much to your children, okay, and learning how to prioritize self, and that's not a bad thing, might be different from this life where you keep running into narcissists who suck you dry, and so on and so forth. So that is a huge, huge thing that I wish people would understand. One of the biggest mistakes that I keep running into people is when we start talking about karma. They're like, ugh. And I had somebody this week actually say it in a response to me. They're like, man, I knew I was a bad person in another life. And I was like, spirit doesn't know good or bad. That is an earth thing, okay? Good, bad, the dualities, right? You look at the yin and the yang here, the dark and the light. We're here to learn balance in between the two. It's almost like a purification. Sorry, I got distracted by the comments. So if you are struggling with something and somebody tells you it's because of karma, whether it's me or somebody else, you weren't bad. You came to experience both because you're learning this lesson. And a lot of times we won't get it until it's done to us, until we're on the receiving end. So we get to see both perspectives of why it happens. But yeah, that's a huge thing. I'm trying to think. Yeah, just the way we look at living our lives, would be much more freeing if you knew you got to come back and keep doing it over and over and over. You get to keep coming back over and over and over. And yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Yep. And I love it because you'll hear people say like, I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back. And I always kind of giggle at it because, you know, it's hard while we're here. But then once we leave the physical body, we get to the other side and the soul has that deeper understanding. It doesn't look at it as, oh my gosh, that life was so hard. It was like, wow, I learned so much in that life. Like the soul has a whole different perspective than the human self does.
It does. And one thing I've noticed for my clients lately, and I think this is a theme for the collective, and this is why I say this, they're so afraid to try. Anybody here who's read Twilight, don't come for me. I know how toxic they are. Okay. But in New Moon, you see months go by with nothing on the page, right? That's what you're doing when you have a life where you're afraid to try. you got to try. You got to try something. You got to get out there. It doesn't matter what you try. You can taste it all, the sampler platter of life, but just get out there and do it. Just something, anything. Your soul is craving it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think, at least for me, when I had sort of that like aha moment, just about that, like life is a school. The soul is here to experience, you know, it's not about perfection. It took such this weight off of me to like, I've got to get my life figured out. I've got to like, no, like at the end of the day, none of this is really going to matter because it's just, I'm learning as I go, whether I'm succeeding or I'm failing or I'm somewhere in between. And so it took all this pressure off of me and it gave me such a greater sense of freedom because now I look at it differently. And so I would love to see that for everyone. Like just look at life as we're learning as we go.
Well, if you really think about it, you never fail if you try. You only learn. You may not get to where you're trying to go. Sometimes, and don't get me wrong, sometimes spirit has a better idea. Mm-hmm. If you had told me, although it's funny because I kind of predicted my job without predicting it. Mm-hmm. That's a story for another time. No, it's not. Apparently somebody needs to hear it. Okay, so I was 17 in school and I was in my religious class and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be like this artist. I called it a tattoo artist. I'm going to be a tattoo artist and I'm going to be like a spiritual leader of some sort. I don't care if it's like pastoral or whatever. I'm going to do both. And here I am doing spirit art. Mm-hmm. While I'm teaching people about their spiritual talents. And I'm like, oh, okay. So what your 17-year-old self wanted may still want today. Go for it. So whoever needed that, take it.
Yep. I love it.
You're a Twilight fan. Yay, Deborah. I just rewatched the movies and I'm like, I can't believe I like this still.
You know, I missed out on that whole phase. Like when I remember I was in high school when everyone was when it was really popular and everything. And I remember I was like, oh, I got to get on board. Well, I've never been a big reader. So I jumped right to the movies. Mm-hmm. I don't think I got through the first one.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. Like, the first movie is horrible. Horrible.
I'll have to go back now as an adult and either get them on audiobooks or try to rewatch the movie.
Get them on audiobooks.
Yeah.
Books. Okay, so I'm dyslexic. If y'all have seen my millions of typos, you know, I'm dyslexic. And for me, that was the first book in my early 20s where I was like, I can read this. I can see this. I can be here. And I think that's why it always holds a special place in my heart, and I'll go back and reread it.
Yeah.
We have gotten super off topic, though.
We have.
Do you guys, which is normal for you and me, I feel like. But do you guys have any past lives, future life questions? The soul's journey. And the soul's journey mirrors your life progression. You start as a baby soul, and then you have 3 rungs you're going to move up until you are 1. True Blood was better. True Blood, it had its. We're talking TV. Did you know that those are real worlds, guys? Great artists. Okay, we're just gonna go there tonight. Great artists, which writers are artists, channel these things. They don't just get them out of blue, right? Out of the blue. Even Stephanie Meyer talks about a dream where she saw Edward and he comes up to her and he's menacing and scary and he's like, you got it wrong. And I was like, I knew it. He's a narcissist. He's controlling. He's this. And I was like, he is. She didn't get it wrong, but that's okay. I'll live in her universe.
I love that. Yep. Because I mean, it's right. It's true, right? Like there's all these other universes or realms or, you know, these different plateaus out there that are all just so different.
Rhonda said, do you come back in groups or solo? Yes and no. So we have a soul family that we're a part of. I think the max I've ever seen is like 15 or 16. They normally are around 8 to 12 though, is what I've seen. And you can meet up with different ones on different levels. People progress as they progress. But for me in this life, my soul family is all in the peripheral except for my husband. They're all in the peripheral because I had to do it alone. So if you are feeling very, very lonesome, you might not have a lot of them around you. Even if you have great people in your life, but you feel like, I'm missing something or someone. Your soul family. So yeah.
Yeah.
Love that question.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to remember, you'll come back, but you'll play different roles for one another. So
Mhm.
let's say your spouse is part of your soul family. Like you might not always be, their
Mhm.
spouse in the next
Nope.
lifetime. You could be their enemy, but
Yeah.
one way or another, you're doing life over and over to help one another learn and grow.
Yeah, it freaks us out to think about the fact that like my husband could be my dad in another life or
Yeah.
his mom, but it's true.
Yep. It is. Yep.
True.
Few years ago, I had a past life reading done, and she was walking me through everything, and we got to this life, and I saw my husband was my son in that lifetime, and I kind of giggled out loud, even though I was in like this hypnosis, because I was like, that makes so much sense.
Regression, not reading, correct? Regression.
Yes, sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, yep. Did I
Yes.
say reading?
I don't want somebody to come to me and expect an 8-hour hypnosis. I
Yeah,
don't.
no. I was in a regression. Sorry.
I do my past readings kind of like that. Let's see. I know I was a witch once. A lot of people have been witches who are here now. It's a very common thing. Um, I saw, I think it was Rhonda was like, I need to ditch some family members. So just know that your family may not be your soul family.
Right.
Do you come back and recognize them as family? Dana said, I hope I said your name right. Uh, sometimes, sometimes it usually happens more like you look really familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know you? And then you sit there and you might be at the mall. This is actually what happened to me once. And we literally went over our whole life, all our family connections, couldn't pick it out. And I still think about this lady today. Or you have that friend, and I'm not talking about trauma bonding. Look that up. We're not going to psychology today. But where you just get each other, it's almost like you have telepathy the first day you meet each other. That's a great way to recognize the soul family. People who just fit like a perfect glove.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Lots of comments.
There are. I'm trying to keep up with them.
I'm trying to keep up. Rebecca, I would love to have it done too. So Raquel, she said, I believe I was hung in a past life, and that's why I can't wear turtlenecks or shirts or wear tight necks. Am I right? It could be one of two things. You can have a sensory issue. Okay, that's a really real thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sensory issues are a real thing. Now, I believe two things can be true at once. You could have sensory issues and it could be representing what happened in a past life. This could also be what a lot of people call like a wound to the throat chakra. Like you feel like you can't speak up for yourself. So anything constricting could do that. You could have been hung. The ways we die are unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just heard that song "Dumb Ways to Die" in my head. Spirit's got a sense of humor tonight, but yeah, we do the whole gamut. Not to be like morbid, but we do all of the good and all of the not so good. Mm-hmm. Okay, Olivia, that's because you're a healer.
Oh, I gotta scroll. What'd she say?
I have people I'm drawn to, and I'm like, you're supposed to heal them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Danny. Sorry, we call out our friends here. Yes, Ron. Can I, Kat, tell if someone has a spiritual talent? That is one of my specialties. That is one of my favorite things to do. Absolute favorite things to do. I offer a couple of services for that. I have a one-on-one call, which I have one left for the month. Magical coaching is what I call that. And then I do email readings as well that identify what your spiritual team wants you to know about at this moment. You may have more than that, but I love the magical people. I call the magical people. Come to me.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And I'm a firm, I don't know about you, but I'm a firm believer, like every single one of us has magical gifts, magical abilities. I think it's our soul's right. Now, what those are, that's going to differ from person to person, but yeah.
Well, just like an ecosystem, not to interrupt you, but just like an ecosystem, we have to have balance.
Yep.
Okay, so you might be a medium. Sarah, who's part of the Master Healers, is works with the shadow. And then you look at Nikki in Master Healer. She does Reiki and deals with the physical form a lot when it touches the spiritual form. And then you have me. Hi. I like all the magical, all the weird, all the outcasts, and those who want to get really serious with their spiritual development and their life and soul's development. I'm the Moldavite. So if you don't like Moldavite, you won't like me.
Those of you who know what Moldavite does and what it is, you get that comment.
Yes. Some people can handle the Moldavite and some people can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, it was my pleasure. So when children pass, is that because that part of their journey was supposed to be short? It could be a bunch of things. A lot of times when children come in for a short period of time, they're really here to teach us.
Mm-hmm.
They came to teach us. They didn't come to experience too much. A lot of times, like chronically ill children are elevated souls. They're higher, far more progressed than us, and they came to teach us. Now, a soul can get in real deep, and I'm going to tell you about one of my experiences that I hope to have written in a book one day. I was one, and about one. It was Christmas. I had scarlet fever almost. I had really, I was really sick, but my family didn't notice. They just thought I had a cold. They took me to the doctor weeks prior. It was just a cold. It'll go away. Well, I had 103-degree fever. I should not remember this, but I do. I remember getting my teddy bear that morning, and I remember laying on the table there at the hospital. It was so cold because I was so hot. Everything felt cold to me. And I could see my mom, and I remember wanting my bear. And then it was like I was out of my body. I'm going to get really weird here. It was like I was out of my body, and I went down to the waiting area down this long hallway, and I saw my grandfather and my brother, who was 8 at the time, I believe. And he was really upset. My brother is not the kind of guy to get upset or emotional or mushy. He was crying, and my grandfather was consoling him. Again, not another mushy person. And I remember describing to my mom years later what had happened. I was like, yeah, he was out there, da 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 da. And then Jason brought me the teddy bear, but he was sniffling the whole way. And she was like, no, Grandpa wasn't out there, blah, blah, blah. And my brother cuts in, and he was like, no, he was. And he starts describing the whole scene. That was one of my outs. That was one of like 6 outs you get in your life. If something gets too tough, I remember thinking in that moment, which is weird because babies don't really like think the same way. I don't have to do this, but I want to. And I went ahead, and here we are today.
Yep. I love that. I got chills as you were saying that. And that's one thing that I've had people ask a lot, like, why do we choose to pass when we do? And I'm like, well, we get like roughly 5, 6, like exit points that we could choose to take if we wanted to. And it doesn't always have to be a near-death experience. It can just be, don't get in that car, or, that sort of thing. So, that's why I'm always like, listen to your intuition. Really.
Yes. You never know what an out is. I do know of one other. And it just trips me out that we have multiple. It's a choose your own adventure book. Really, this is a choose your own adventure book. And you get to decide where you want to go. And you don't lose progress in the next life. What you learn in this life will carry over into the next one, even if it is 100 years in the past.
Yep.
Oh, I love you, Danny. Angela, we will get into that in just a little bit when we do our reading portion.
I'm loving all these questions.
No, I'm looking for another one. Send all the questions. I want to hear all the questions. Oh my gosh. I have music in the background, and Used to Be Young from Miley is on. I'm like, how perfect.
I feel like that song is stalking me. Like every time I turn around, that song is playing, and I'm like,
do I need to send you a bird? Because apparently I send everybody birds right now.
Well,
and one.
Yep. Yeah. When you texted me the other day about the bird, I was like, Yeah. And then I also got another message from one of the other master healers today asking about birds. And I was like, huh, okay. I'm seeing a pattern.
Okay. Okay. You're about to take flight.
Mm.
Does anybody have questions about past lives, future lives? Yes, you can have glimpses into future lives. I do have a special running right now. I have it pinned to the top of my Facebook page. Hey, come follow me. I'm fun. I'm not too spammy. I promise. I keep it lighthearted. How do you know who your main spirit guide is? Well, Rebecca, if you're looking to talk to your spirit guide, right? You first have to learn what your energy feels like. And most of us have no idea what that feels like anymore. We do, we really do when we're little, okay? When we're little, we're very in touch, we're quirky, we're weird, we understand what we feel like and we understand how to express that. But as we live our lives, as society happens to us, as we go through traumatic experiences, we lose touch with that. So if you are able to ground yourself, if you are able to learn how to meditate, there's a million types of meditations. You don't have to sit and go clear-minded, okay? Learn your energy. And then I find that people usually will get one of two things after that. Either they'll get somebody on their spiritual team, which could be a family member who's passed, a spirit family member. You'll get to know their energy. Or you'll meet your dominant guide, which is what happened to me. I met my dominant guide and I was like, oh, okay. Your energy is different, but you have to get still enough and learn how to center yourself in order to feel that. Now, me, if I'm reading you, it's if they want to talk. I can't force any spirit to communicate. It's never guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember the first time I met my main spirit guide, it seriously, it felt like going home to my best friend.
It did.
Like I met her and it was the first time I really did a deep meditation. And she walked up and I was like, we are now best friends. Like, oh my gosh, I've never felt any energy that feels so close.
Right? When I met mine, she was showing me a past life of mine. Actually, I think it's a future life, if I'm being honest. Another life where I felt completely whole. Because if you're new to me, I have body dysmorphia. Hey. And we have problems. So if you see filters, no, you didn't. Okay. But I met her and she showed me a life where I was completely comfortable in my own skin. I didn't care. I felt beautiful. I felt loved. I felt all these things. And then I saw her and I felt her. I was like, you're always there with me. Why can't I feel you all the time? And now I know when she's around, but yeah.
Yeah.
How do I know if your mother is never a guide? People who you have known in this life are still learning lessons. In order to be a guide, you have to graduate. We haven't graduated yet. Anybody on Earth School is not graduated. I feel like you would have to be past the 12th dimension to graduate, and none of us are there. If you're here in the 3D, there's no way that your normal is more than the 7th, and that's getting really woo-woo. But on your team, they can send you signs. They can help orchestrate for things to happen. I've seen people who are, this is interesting, who are infertile, and a close loved one dies, and they'll go to their council and they'll fight for them, and they'll be like, nope, they deserve this. And it might be through adoption, it might be through whatever, but a baby happens. You know, it could be anything like that. So you don't lose your connection to them, but they can't be your guide, because a guide is a master.
Yep.
Peggy, you always have a definitive out and you cannot get 1 minute more than that. So when people say that, that's what I always think about. When you say that God knows the date that you're leaving, you have a definitive out. You can't beg, borrow, or steal more time after that. They're like, nope, this is it. But yeah.
There's a lot of questions about deja vu.
I love deja vu. I love deja vu. Deja vu actually confused me because when I was little, I was told that my precognition was deja vu, which they feel very similar. Okay, so is deja vu connected to past lives? Kind of, sort of, in my opinion. It's like when you're in a video game and you achieve a save point.
Yes.
It's usually like you're on the right path. I haven't felt deja vu when I was doing something I was not aligned with, even if it was wrong. Okay. Yeah, that's what I think it is. So if you have precog and it feels similar to deja vu but different, then you know that you have the ability to have premonitions, or you do. A lot of them, the people that I know that have precog, will do it in their dreams too. So
yeah. Deja vu is one of my favorite things to experience because I look at it just like that, like a checkpoint. I'm like, oh, I'm on the right path. And sometimes it's something big, like a new experience. And sometimes it's something as simple as like, I'm sitting on the couch eating popcorn with the kids. And I'm like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like, this was something my soul decided it wanted to do. And here we are, we're doing it.
That's funny because like 2 days ago, I had the biggest deja vu I've had in maybe 10 years. I was sitting on my couch looking out my window, and then I started to have visions of the future. And I was like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Cool. Cool. No matter how frustrating that is, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. You would love to meet your guide. Well, you have to learn yourself, and then you have to get quiet and still enough in this crazy, crazy world to meet them.
Yep.
And trust your intuition, trust your feelings. The way that I see is kind of like somebody who's blind. I know I call myself a seer because I'm very clairvoyant, but most of the time it's like braille to me. I have to feel everything. So trust your gifts.
Megan, yeah, I think she's burning sage.
I don't do sage. I do have, well, you're not wrong. I have sage incense.
You have something burning.
That's a great topic. Your spiritual walk is not my spiritual walk. It's not their spiritual walk. What feels in alignment with me isn't necessarily in alignment with you. Ashley loves to burn sage. For me, in the way that I feel, I don't burn sage. Do we sit here and argue about it? No.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Not
each their own.
Yeah, to each their own.
Yep.
Okay. You want to start doing some readings?
Sure. Yeah. Right. Yep. And if you guys are interested in more like the past lives, the magical coaching, like I said, all of that, or like Kat said, not all that I said, but go follow her, go book with her. And I keep putting all of her website and everything, her Facebook, that's all in the description. And here in the comments, I keep putting her website.
All right. Do me a favor, guys. I can feel how amped up we are, and I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. But do me a favor and take like 3 deep breaths, and I promise you I'll feel them. I'll feel them. 1, 2, 3. All right, most of you did it. Enough that
isn't it interesting how you feel that? Like I can always tell when I ask people on camera to like take a deep breath and they do, and then they don't. And I'm like, I can tell you didn't do it. Like, take that breath.
It's easier when you have one-on-ones because you can look at them and go, okay, deep breath. And then you know that they're doing it. But when you have like 70, 80 people. So one more thing, I'm open to pretty much anything. Spirit is strong tonight. Mediumship has been popping up for me more and more. So if it happens, know that my toolbox is not as big as Ashley. So we may have to walk through it a little bit more, but I'm open. I'm not going to do any legal or health questions. Not sure what Ashley's open to, but I'm open to anything else. But please give me an area. I am not likely to be drawn to you with a room of this many people if you don't give me an area. So yeah. Hi. Okay.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Heck no.
No? Okay. All right. So I am pretty much open to anything. You can put, what you want to know about. If you have a specific question, area of life, your spiritual gifts, whatever, anything and anything, just put it in there and I'll go wherever I'm drawn. Very similar to Kat. If you do general or completely open, there's a lot of energy in here. So if you could at least hone us down into an area, that would be helpful. Okay. What does an area mean, Jessica? It means like career, relationship, my soul gifts, anything like that, just like a general area. All right. So, oh, wow, these comments just started like,
Yeah, super fast, super quick.
Okay, let me see here. Ooh, so many. All right, where am I going? Rebecca Trish. Okay, I guess I'm starting the night off with mediumship. All right, so Rebecca, you said, is my grandma with me? The answer to that is absolutely yes. When I lean into your energy, Rebecca, I don't feel like your grandmother was very old when she passed. Definitely older, but I don't consider her, like, to me, 80 and over is old. I don't feel like she was that old. I feel like she was younger. I do keep getting very drawn to like some sort of respiratory or lung related illness. I also feel like she may have struggled with some form of issues with her circulation. And she makes me feel like she had been dealing with health issues for a little, like some time, but I'm not feeling like 10 years, maybe a year or two where her health was really starting to decline. And then she makes me feel like her passing happened pretty quickly, but it feels painless. It feels like she just kind of drifted into a deep sleep, and she comes in and she's very excited. Like, I feel like your grandmother just had a big personality. I don't feel like she was loud, but a big personality, very loving. She keeps showing me a rose. So I'm wondering if this is your mother's mom, because generally that's what that means for me. Okay. I know that we are in January, but would you understand a January connection? Because she's connecting me to January. She's also giving reference to the number 4. She's giving me a connection to the number 4. So whether her name is Rose, stop it. Okay, I love that. So that makes sense why she showed me a rose. I love that. Yeah, so she's giving me a connection to the number 4, which could be April, could be 4 kids, but something about the number 4. And Rebecca, I'm sorry, I was about to call you Trish. Rebecca, she's showing me that she needs you to trust yourself right now. She makes me feel like you're kind of sitting at a crossroads and you're just wondering, like, you're beating yourself up. You're like, I can't make a decision. And it almost feels like you're sort of like paralyzed by fear because you don't want to make the wrong one. And she just keeps saying, trust yourself, lean into it, and know that I'm there to guide you. I feel like you're going to see a lot of repetitive numbers, waking up a lot between the 2 and 3 o'clock hours in the morning. Also, do cars still have antennas? And the reason I'm asking is because she keeps showing me like something happening to an antenna. And I'm assuming that's probably going to be on a car, but there's something about an antenna that I feel like it means 2 things. One, you have a connection to her. Okay. That antenna is sort of like the representation of that. But 2, I feel like there's like going to be a physical antenna or something that happens to like an actual antenna in these next couple days. But she's very sweet. She's absolutely with you. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you for giving me that chance to connect with her.
Okay, so I'm apparently going to be delving into all of your stuff right now. So Skylyn is asking, trying to get pregnant. What does my future look like? And the first thing that happened to me was I got nauseous. I got super, super nauseous. So I feel like pregnancy is definitely in your future. But the way that this makes me feel is you've had your hopes raised in the past, and it's been a bit of a struggle is the way that it's coming in for me. So if you could let me know if that makes sense. So when I say struggle, this may mean that you have lost pregnancies or had a hard time getting pregnant, or both. Okay, both. I'm sorry, I'm just talking to your team. You have a chatty team. You have a lot of people surround you at all times. I wouldn't be surprised if you can hear like chatter too, because of the way that like almost like a static. But yes, okay. So springtime feels like a time where you're going to be tracking your cycle more. You need to track your cycle. And I also see doctor's appointments coming up around then. So it feels like March. A miscarriage. Okay. Okay. It feels like March, new doctor's appointments, kind of what is it with the vitamins? When you go into the doctor, the way that I said no health. When you go into the doctor, it makes me feel like you need to have your vitamin levels or have your blood work done or something like that checked fairly regularly in the first trimester. So you may have to be your own advocate, or this may be a fertility specialist that you're working with. It doesn't feel like IVF. It doesn't feel invasive. This feels like pills, like taking pills is what I'm getting from them. But I feel a little girl. I do. I feel her, and she's the sweetest sweet pea ever. So let's do a few cards on this. This is a newer thing for me. So yeah, I'm really excited. It doesn't feel more than a year out though. Definitely not more than a year out. And Ashley, if you're picking up a date, which I know you always do, you're more than welcome to piggyback. I won't be insulted. Woo! Okay. Yes. Yes. Invitation. And the number 5, is that May? May. It's gonna be May. I just heard it. They were like, look at the number.
Yep. I was waiting. I was hearing May too, like end of May into June. And I was just waiting. I was like, she's going to say the month. I know she will.
So the biggest thing that your team is telling you to like let go of is the low vibrations, the fear. How we were talking about fear limits us. Okay. We're going to let go. That experience was horrible and nobody wants to downplay that, but we're going to get excited. Oh, that's what the excitement is. We're going to get excited. We're going to bring in this manifestation. We're going to know that this little girl was always destined for us. Watch out for your blood pressure in the 3rd trimester is what I just heard. So make sure you're not getting stressed out and overdoing it. Sodium is something that I'm hearing. And then let's get one more card for you. Okay. Oh, yeah, we need to get out of the mud and the muck and like get out of the negative space we've been in. Let's see. One more. Oh. Back to the basics. Start taking care of ourselves and see all those people. Those are all the people who are passing that baby around up there. Because I feel like we get like a little practice section right before we come in and we're kind of next to our body and they're kind of talking to us like they're going to talk to us when we're babies. But you've got a beautiful baby girl waiting for you on the other side.
So exciting.
All right. That was scary, guys.
I'm proud of you. Fertility readings are my favorite. So when you were drawn to it, I was like, yeah.
I love babies.
Okay, let me see. Shannon, you said your spiritual gifts. As soon as I read that, I heard your team go, she can do what you do. You can talk to dead people like easily. I'm going to be very blunt because your guides are blunt. You are standing in your own way. That's it. That like, if you get out of your own way, bam, you're talking to dead people. Like we all have the ability to some degree, but for some of us, it's much more natural. We still need development. We still need to work it. We still need to try to understand how it all, goes down, but it is very, very natural for you. You said I absolutely am. Yeah. So, and we all are, right? You're like, that's not a you thing. We are all our biggest obstacle. But right now, in order for you to tap into your gifts, you have to get out of your own way. And I feel like a lot of this is you have to reprogram your mind and look at spiritual gifts and look at talking to the dead differently than you do, because I feel like you're intrigued by it, but there's still there's something that still stems you to your past, like what you were taught growing up. And that is a clear blockage. So if you can reprogram your mind, because remember, the brain is a computer. It believes what we taught it. Okay. Or what we tell it. So start to reprogram it. Start to look at it differently, start to understand it differently. With you, I feel like you are a bit of a researcher. So knowledge is power here. So read about it, read all the books, listen to all the podcasts, follow other spiritualists that you really connect with online, take a class, take a course, take a workshop, do something like that. But I feel like if you get out of your own way and you lean into trusting it, You're going to be surprised at how quickly these gifts just start to show up because they're already in you. You're already doing it. You just don't recognize it all the time. You said, I am a researcher. Yep. So do all the research. Okay. Just don't overthink it. Trust your intuition. Remember, you can learn from a lot of different people, and it's very unlikely that you're going to resonate with everything that one teacher has, but you'll pick up on this from this teacher, this from this teacher, this from this teacher, and it'll all kind of come together to form your own journey. But you, my friend, are a medium, like through and through, a very natural medium.
I can't remember if I read her before. I know she's been on my page before.
Yeah.
But I remember giving a similar message, like, you can do a lot of this stuff. You just need to get out of your own way. So that was validating for me to hear.
I love that.
Okay, so I was drawn to Cindy Prater, and her question was, what lessons, or something along those lines, what lesson am I here to learn? Boy, did you pile it on. You piled it on. One of the lessons, one of the big lessons that you're here to learn is sometimes slow is better than fast. Sometimes it's better to focus on one thing at a time. And then the other thing that I was naturally getting for you is you're here to learn your own song. You're here to learn your own inner compass, your own inner voice. Like, I kept hearing the chatter around you, and this is symbolic. This isn't spirit. This isn't anything like that. It's the outside influences that weigh on you. I feel like towards the beginning of your life, like first third or so up till like 30s, right? You were listening to what a lot of people told you as fact. And it wasn't until a little bit later on. So if you're not there yet, you're there yet. Sorry. It wasn't until later on you were like, wait a minute. You started to question things. And I feel like right now you're at a very solid foundation of who you are, which is really, really good. I feel like that's going to be challenged again in the next year or two. So it's interesting that you're saying that. But yes, you definitely take on way too much for other people and neglect self. So that's one of the ways that comes out for you. I'm just looking to see if there's any comments. So if you guys see me looking down, but yes, we take on too much. We have to learn our own inner voice. So I'm going to pull some cards on how they'd like you to navigate through these lessons, or what help you need right now with these lessons. Your intuition is spot on. Your heart misleads you, but your gut is never wrong. You're too sympathetic with others, I feel like. Smart, though. You know better. You know better. Yep. Feel yourself for transformation. Ooh, I love that. I can't make this up. So the bottom of the deck is self-care. Hold on. Self-care. We need to learn to take care of ourselves, put on our own spiritual mask. Our spiritual mask. I love when I channel and I say nonsensical things. Put on our own oxygen mask on first, okay? Heal yourself first, okay? So you're learning how to take care of yourself, heal yourself, grow. This is a really transformative life. So this life feels like you're shedding old beliefs as well. And then we're resetting. So we're purging a lot of stuff. So if you feel like you've been through the ringer, you have. You're not like whining. You're not being like overly dramatic. You've been through it. So I'm sending you lots and lots of love. You're doing a great job, though.
It's awesome. So I was so drawn to, is it Jenny, right? Jenny, is that how we say that? So I was so drawn, and it was like, as soon as I read your comment, it was just download. And I was like, I like spaced out from even listening to Kat's reading, and I was instantly just like, like taking notes because I didn't want to forget anything. So Jenny, let me know if you're still here, because I know you commented that a few minutes ago. There you are. Okay. So you wanted to know who Anne was in a past life. And it was, the image I got in my head was so crazy vivid. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely reading her. I don't know who Anne is for you in this lifetime. I have no idea who she is for you in this lifetime. But what I was picking up on is, in a past lifetime, they are showing me you in a male form, and I see you as a wounded soldier in World War I see Anne as your nurse. And what I keep hearing, one phrase that I keep hearing over and over from your guides is caretaker returned. It's come full circle and needs boundaries. I don't know exactly what that means without knowing who Anne is in this lifetime. So I just want to give that to you and you let me know if you understand it. But it feels like she was a caretaker for you in a past life. And in some way, shape, or form, you have had to become a caretaker for her, whether that's a physical, an emotional, a spiritual, like there's some form of you needing to give her your energy to support her. It's your Aunt BFF. Oh, I love that. Oh, wait, I pinned the wrong thing. There it is. Okay, so in some form in this lifetime, it feels like you are that caretaker. So like I said, it could be emotional support, physical support, spiritual support, something like that. But now that caretaking has come full circle and you in a sense have like repaid her for the care that she gave you in this previous lifetime, now it's just important to have balance, make sure that you are learning how to create balance to still have that special connection with her without the two of you sort of like losing your independence. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's what they're showing me. Like it was such a clear image of you as a soldier wounded, her being your nurse, taking care of you. And there you could feel even back then, there was just this really strong spiritual bond. But I feel like you guys will have and will continue to do lives together. Like she is one of those people that's on your soul team. So you will continuously do lives together in one way or another. So that's really cool though. I wouldn't be surprised if you sit down to do like a past life meditation or anything like that. And you start to get images of that lifetime because it feels like there are lessons coming up now in this lifetime that are directly related to that lifetime.
So sorry. I'm being sucked into 12 comments at once.
Yeah.
I want to read in here. Okay. I was going to read something else, but I'm going with this one. Actually, I'm going to do two real quick. Erica, that's because he is either incarnated or about to reincarnate. And he was a quiet guy anyways. He didn't like to talk. So your grandfather is okay. He does send you smoke, like tobacco smoke smells. Not just you, but I feel like a female family member. And yeah, he something about a nephew too. But I have to go to this other one. I have to. Not to be like all like, but there was Lisa. Where did Lisa's comments go? I lost it. Oh no, go back up. Catherine. There we go. Lisa Joe.
No.
Lisa Joe. Twin flame. No, he's not. No, he's not. Things have been kind of rocky, right? This is not the healthiest of relationships is the way that this feels for me. This definitely feels like a lesson relationship, which I know not what you're wanting to hear, but you have so much better in about 2 years from now. They keep showing me the self-love cycle and the self-discovery journey that you're on. And it's like through these people, which, yeah, no, that's a firm no. Moving. Okay, I'm just going to say the things. He's very controlling and manipulative. I feel like he'll flip on you like on a switch. And you'll notice this in his actions. Like one day he'll be really, really moody with you. And the next day he'll be super duper lovey and like apologetic and being like, I don't know why I do that. You bring out the best in me, yada, yada, yada. That's how you're going to notice the small red flags now. I mean, if you go out to Utah, am I going to say anything to you if you come to me 6 months from now being like, help? Of course not. Live your best life. You can only do what feels aligned with you. But as I speak to your team, I don't know who this is. It's a female presence on the other side. And she was like, don't you dare. I will put that plane on pause. It feels very much so like a grandma who was a nosy buddy and just would like be like a love doctor over there. I want to pull some cards for you though, because I feel like you're going to date a couple schmucks. He is a soulmate. Okay, good. Perfect. He is a soulmate in the sense that you guys are on each other's team. You guys are soul family. That's why he feels so familiar. That's why you kind of felt like I've been concentrating on myself. Good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Run, honey. I'm an alcoholic in recovery. You got the right person. Run. Run. Yeah. No, run. That's just me. But yes. Okay. Sorry. Your team is scattered. Do you have attention deficit disorder? If you don't, I think you might actually have it and be undiagnosed, because when I stepped into your energy, I was like, do. Okay, what else? Okay, I need you guys to concentrate. So that's the first thing you're going to have to work on in order to bring your soulmate for this life, the person that you're meant to walk with for a good portion of your life. I won't say your whole life, but a good portion of your life, is for you to start regulating your nervous system. It feels really, really out of whack. It feels super out of whack. I do. I haven't been diagnosed with you. You haven't. You don't need a diagnosis unless you want to seek medication or something like that. I don't think you like medication as soon as I said that. So you can look at alternative routes. I'm not a doctor, so I will not prescribe anything to you. But let's get something for your love. You're doing it backwards. You need to love yourself, because I had my cards backwards. We need to love ourselves, and love ourselves enough to hold the standards high. Yeah, I like that for you. You're going to get that lesson within the next year. You're going to lift that bar up off the floor. Oh, I love that. 10 years clean. Yes, girl. I'm about to hit my 5 years. Yeah, no medication. That's, yep. About to hit my 5 years on the 30th. So I'm like, okay. All right. So the bottom of the deck is, not the bottom of the deck. Bottom of the bottle. Healing is happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. It's okay to soften. So I feel like you've also had your walls up really, really high. It's okay to let them down and look out. You can take a look. You can see what's out there. You can taste a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yes, it really is. It really is. The bud, potential, promise, it's all about to happen. It really does feel right there. I feel like this is going to be somebody who's introduced in a friend circle or like a coworker circle, and it's going to be like kind of brought in off the side about a year and a half from now, but you guys aren't going to get together until about 2 years from now is the way it feels. Say yes, expand through the extremes, and trust life. This does not mean say yes to that gentleman. What this means is say yes to yourself. Say yes to the ups and downs, the hurt, all of it. Just let yourself loose in this regard, because I feel like you keep yourself very regimented. I know that sounds crazy with the attention deficit, but you're very, yeah. So I'm excited for you. I see several options at the bottom of the deck here. Like you've got a few options, girl. Enjoy yourself. Have a little fun. Get a little rowdy.
That's awesome.
So we're kind of getting to that time. Do you want to do one more, or do you want me to do a pick a card? How do you want to finish this up?
How about we'll do a pick two, you get a pile, I get a pile.
Perfect. I'll go second.
Okay. All right. So you guys let us know which pile you're drawn to. You could just put Ashley or Kat, and it doesn't mean you're choosing one of us over the other.
Did you see that orb? Did anybody else see that orb?
I wasn't looking.
It was right across your face.
Well, thank you, Spirit. So just put in the comments, Ashley or Kat. That way we know which deck you're drawn to. And then we'll both pull some cards. We'll do a quick collective reading. And so just, take it as your own. It's going to resonate with each person a little differently. All right. I think I'm going to pull 3 cards. This has been so fun. I always have fun going live with you.
I do too. I
say that every time, but it's so true.
I could sit here and do like the spiritual Q&A forever. Not so much readings forever, because I would be like tomorrow. Yep.
Yeah, I could too. Spiritual Q&A is my favorite. It's my favorite thing to talk about. So it doesn't even feel like work. Where is that third card? There it is.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how that is?
Sometimes they pop right out, and other times it's like, okay, my hands are getting tired. All right. What is this? Hold on. Someone put a link in the comments. I'm going to delete that. I don't know what that is. Just want to make sure no one gets spammed by anything. And that brings me to a good point. Not saying that person was a spammer, but just remember there are a lot of fakes. People will steal our pictures. They will steal our posts. They will make a page with a very similar, if not the same name as ours. It's not us. Neither one of us will ever solicit you. We won't DM you. We don't send friend requests. Not us.
No. And I will never send you to another witch or witch doctor ever.
No.
I teach you how to use your own magic in whatever form that shows up for you.
Yep. Okay. All right. So if you were drawn to my deck, here we go. So we have the first card is Psychic Gifts. This one's a call to action. Then we have one that talks about personal power, throat opening. And then our third card is deep healing shadow work. It also says understanding, and in parentheses here, it says seer. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, there's a glare. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says seer. Okay, so we're talking about gifts. We're talking all about gifts here. So if you were drawn to me, this is encouraging you to acknowledge what's already going on intuitively, and likely you've been experiencing things since you were a kid, and so you've kind of either chalked it up to coincidence, you've run away with it or run away from it because of fear or belief systems. But I feel like they're starting to reemerge, and they've likely been starting to reemerge for maybe the past 2 to 3 years, but it's been a very slow progression because you've been fighting it. This is the year where Spirit is like, we are done waiting. These gifts are coming in whether you want to or not. So the path is up to you. Do you want to try to fight against the current and make things 10 times harder than they need to be? Or do you want to surrender to what's happening and go with the flow? Now, when I say surrender, that doesn't mean give up the will and just let life happen. No. But it means listen to your own intuition. And when you feel guided to something, or something just kind of falls into your lap, or it falls apart, don't fight it. Trust it, even if you don't understand it. I would also encourage a lot of you to start dream journaling. And I think for a lot of you, numerology is going to be something that you're extremely interested in. So don't be afraid to start learning about astrology. Don't be afraid to look up your birth chart and kind of learn what that's all about. Like Kat kind of said earlier, to better understand yourself, right? So you don't have to be an astrology expert to learn some basic things regarding your birth chart. All you need is like where you were born, the time you were born, the day you were born, and that's about it. So you put that in, it'll pop up. You can go to Google, type in free birth chart, bam, there it is, or natal chart, something like that. But a lot of you, your gifts are waking up. And the more that you continue to try to fight it, the harder life is going to get. So let's take some deep breaths. This is the year to lean into your intuition. And this is the year to start exploring your spiritual interests. So if you're someone who's really drawn to mediumship, start learning about it. If you're someone who's really drawn to past lives, start reading about it, start learning about it, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be one thing. Our gifts are made up of a ton of little things. So you might start off with mediumship and then decide, you know what, I'm really interested in astrology. It's okay. Learn as you go. There's no one right path for everyone. So for a lot of you, February is going to be very eye-opening and a little scary, a little uncomfortable, but it's all going to come together by June. June is going to be a really good month for you guys. So just putting that out there.
So I wasn't even like channeling for my group, but this popped out and it says learn.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the front and I was like, oh. I was like, okay. So group two. Oh, we're learning to center ourselves in chaos, are we? Are we? Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So the way that this is coming through for me, it's going to be different for each individual, but I'm feeling it. For some of you, it's you lost a loved one or you're going through a lot of grief. For some of you, it's going to be like your external world is falling apart. For some of you, it's going to be mental health. Like you're having a hard time staying uplifted, staying positive, staying in the here and now. Days are going by, weeks are going by, and you're like, I'm just trying to hold on. This is the birthing process of what you want, but you have to let go of what's no longer working. Is the way that this feels for me. You guys have been like holding on to things just out of safety, out of feeling like I need this or I miss this. I miss this old version, especially for the ones who are grieving losses. This could be work, but this feels like lost loved ones too. And I am no grief specialist, but I do know grief is kind of the last gift we have to the people that we love. And your loved ones are kind of making me feel like it's okay to honor us, but to move on. It's okay to live your life and, just keep, there comes that learn. Okay. I got it again. You saw me shuffle this. Okay. I love this for you all. Okay. Okay, so a lot of you are here right now. This is no fun.
Mhm.
Depression, frustration, stagnation, but you came here to earth to learn some of these feelings, as unpleasant as they are, but this is going to lead to your breaking out moment. Just like when a volcano is about to erupt, there's lots of pressure and it just bursts and it comes out of nowhere. So, as above, so below. As dark as your dark has been is as bright as your light is going to be. Feel that manifestation that you're holding on to and say, as long as it's meant for me or greater than this, I am aligning with it. Because sometimes you guys shoot yourself in the foot and try to aim too low. Say, or greater or better, and then let go of expectation. Okay. And a lot of you are going to have spiritual gifts, and that's funny because I know that Ashley's reading was like there. If you were listening to that but chose me and felt aligned with that, you're going to be stepping up in a whole new way in your life. You're going to be taking ownership, but it's going to be, oh, I understand this energy. I know how to bring this into my life. I know how to let go of this. So yeah, that's exciting. And we're at 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Look at that. I love that. Yep. Yeah. So apparently this is the year for everyone to tap into their most truest, authentic, wonderful selves.
Hi, I'm here. I can help you.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. So again, all of Kat's information, it's scrolling down here. I keep randomly, look, I'll do it again. I keep randomly putting it in the comments. It's in the description. It's everywhere. So you can't not find her. So soon as this live ends, I want every single one of you to run over to her page and click that follow button.
Yes, come follow. Hang out. We have lots.
Not that I can really tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you what to do.
If Ashley's telling you to do it, it's probably a good thing, not just following me, but when I don't listen, I get in trouble.
Not by me.
No, spirit. She told you. We sent the message. We sent the memo. Now do it.
Yeah. This has been great. I love it. I love talking about past lives, spiritual gifts. I think we did a little bit of everything tonight with the readings. There was a little bit of everything. So this has been so much fun.
Yeah, I've had lots of fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I'm excited for next month. So we will see you all next time. If you guys, like I said, if you guys loved Kat, go give her a follow. She's got some fun stuff going on. And she's always posting things. I actually learn quite a bit from a lot of your posts because we specialize in different areas, or you'll post something, it'll pique my interest. And guess where I'm running? I'm running to Google, or I'm running to like Instagram, or TikTok has been a big one where I'm like, I want to learn more about this.
I like a lot of witchy things. Just a disclaimer. That's how I communicate with spirit. That doesn't mean that's how I'm going to show up for you in a reading. I'm going to show up in whatever way. Jesus is my homeboy and he shows up in a lot. Look at you. You're pulling to me there with the hair and the face.
I don't know what this is. Sorry.
However you need, but I do. I understand that language very well, and that's what I enjoy. But yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Hopefully you learned some things, piqued your interest. And I guess we will see you all next time. So, Kat, I hope you have a great night.
You too.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.